Hi, and welcome along to this Good Friday reflection. We've been looking during this Holy Week at some of the passages in the Gospel of Mark. So we started on Monday looking at Mark 11 and 12, looking at fear and amazement, two different reactions to Jesus in that time during Holy Week. And then on Wednesday we looked at Mark 12 and 13 and the whole notion of being alert and watching over our lives and watching over how we spend our time. And we move on now to Good Friday. We're into Mark chapter 14 and 15. And I've entitled these Worship and Warfare because we see both of those things happening in these passages in the leading up to Jesus' crucifixion. One of my favourite Bible passages, going back to when I was a teenager, is from Romans 12, and it's 1 and 2. And it encourages us there to offer our bodies as a living sacrifice, which is holy and pleasing to God. And it says that this is our spiritual act of worship. So this notion of a living sacrifice, offering ourselves, it talks about our lives, the very actions we have. And in that sense, it's the fact that actions speak louder than words. And so that's the heart of worship that's being described here. And in these passages, we see time and again Jesus demonstrating that he is a living sacrifice, that what he does, his actions, are proving to be an act of worship. So within these passages, we have Jesus anointed with perfume, a great sacrifice, a great offering, and he says it's preparing him for burial. And then we have the Lord's Supper and the story there, which Jesus talking about offering up his body and his blood, that sacrifice, and how significant that is, that at the Last Supper, celebrating the Passover, the sacrificial lamb that the Israelites ate before they left from slavery in Egypt and headed towards freedom in the Promised Land. And so we see living sacrifice. Jesus is that one sacrifice. And where does he get the strength from for what is to lie ahead? And we find him in Gethsemane, knowing that he's going to be unjustly arrested, knowing the suffering, the beatings, the whippings that are to come, the unjust trial, and then of course the crucifixion and the suffering on the cross. Where does he get the strength to take those steps? And I think he finds those in Gethsemane as he wrestles in prayer with his Father. He finds the strength for what is to lie ahead. And so for us in this season of reflection, this season of Holy Week, where do we find our strength for the way ahead? How can we be alert and watch over our lives? How can we be people of amazement and wonder and worship? How can we find our strength in prayer? And those of you who are part of St Mary's and Sale West Church, you'll know that on the website, Jane Beaumont has prepared a whole load of resources around prayer, just short video clips with top tips for prayer. And I just encourage you to have a look at those as well over the coming days and use those for your own life. But bless you for this day.